I was just talking to a friend of mine about gentle parenting, and it does kind of feel like millennials are such clowns right now because we are the generation that was hit by our parents and our kids. And I say that because kids hit, and if you're a gentle parent, you go, okay, let's calm down. Let's count to five. Let's take a breath. We don't hit mommy. But I think back in the day, they were like, you say that one more time, I'm gonna put soap in your mouth. I'm gonna pop you. I'm gonna pop, pop, pop like it's a popcorn or Bill Redenbacher. Pop, pop. You say that one more time, and I'm gonna. And another thing you're not allowed to say as a positive parent is, I'll give you something to cry about. So that's another thing. But I think the hardest part about positive parenting is the kids are going to act up because that's what children do, because their cerebral cortex is fakakta. And you have to hold it together, even though on the inside you're like, oh, how dare you? No one touches me like that. How dare you pull my hair? How dare you cut my favorite dress with kid scissors? Why did you draw on the wall? And the rage comes in and you want to be angry. I do think it's important to have consequences, or privileges. So it's like you don't earn your privilege today, but it's so tricky because you just want to be like, why did you do that? You can't. And that's the opposite of what the positive parenting model needs to do. You need to regulate yourself, regulate your own emotions, and talk to the kid about how this is not acceptable or this is disappointing. And also kind of understand that you have kids, and so all of your possessions will be ruined. I don't know if I'm doing a good job because when you're a positive parent and trying to, focus on the positive thing, oh, good job. That was so respectful. I like the way you asked me. That please was so lovely, as opposed to all day long, don't do that. You're being disrespectful. No, don't hit. Then you praise them like, wow, that was really gentle. Show me gentle. Good job. That was really gentle. And sometimes it works, and sometimes you're angry and you're dysregulated and you're pissed. And somehow you have to turn into like this yogi Zen Buddha and be like, I need to step away for a second, or I need a minute, or I am angry. And that child needs to witness you calming down, explaining the problem, and creating a consequence to this problem behavior while also understanding and having empathy that they are children. They do not have the logic and reason that we do. And they just gotta see what the marker looks like on the wall. And I know that my kids are really sensitive. If I say no and I yell no, they will immediately start to cry. And there's a problem there because the world isn't gentle, gentle, calm parenting. So then if they go out in the world and someone yells at them and then they just cannot handle it, cannot handle criticism or anything. But I hope that what I can teach them is to regulate. And I'm teaching myself. I am growing and learning how to breathe through something or walk away or not just trusting my gut reaction to yell and scream and really allowing myself to collect myself. And now lately, my favorite thing is I am not going to yell. I'm not going to yell. I'm going to start taking things away. You just, you are this blanket, and that toy is coming with me, and you can't have your shield, your Captain America shield, or your Maui hook, because that behavior is not acceptable. And we can have a lot of fun, and we can play and be silly, but not when you're not when you're hitting your brother. That's not okay. And I'd like to think that the conversation does. Um, a good job of handling things, but maybe not. And maybe some of these lessons eventually he'll learn not to draw on the walls with marker. But he's not going to have a mom who's dysregulated, screaming at him, telling him how worthless he is, because we only have our children for X amount of time, and it's our job to just praise them and pump them and lift them up so that they can go out in the world and do great things because they feel good about themselves and they have a strong sense of self-esteem and identity, and they have a strong connection and a love with their mommy and daddy and whoever in their family, or that they're going to model my behavior. You hit a kid, you're teaching your kid how to hit. You scream at your kid, you're going to teach that kid how to scream. But if you calm yourself down and regulate yourself before you say and do things that you might regret, maybe they'll learn how to do that. And I think parenting is really tricky and really hard. And if we can add moments of calm and fun, that's great. And I also am obsessed with regulating the sugar and the screen time because when those two things get out of hand, the behavior's out of hand. And it's just like a perfect correlation. You watch TV all day, now you're being a jerk to me and your brother and your dad. You played Legos, you painted, you ran outside. You've been wonderful today. And now you're trying to pick up the table and clean up a little bit. Wow. Really good job. That's really mature of you to clean up a little bit around here. I appreciate that. You're a big helper in this house. I want to know what kind of discipline works or positive parenting or teaching. I'm very interested in like what's effective. Is it like, I'm going to take all your toys away? Ah! Or you don't get to watch TV. There's just we we need to give our kids some kind of grit or like the ability to do something that's challenging and they're really frustrated, complete it and be proud of themselves and move on to the next task, be self-motivated and get through challenges. If anything, I need to teach my kids how to overcome challenges. Yes, you might fail once. Yes, you might fail twice. But on the 10th time, it doesn't get easier. You get stronger. You get smarter. There's just so much to instill and so little time and so much cocoa melon. I really hate cocoa melon. All right, I am out, but this has been Rockstar.